I believe this is like another gradient movie. Um, like I hope people can enjoy some of these movies that I'm making in the meantime. Pretty much since I stopped playing a lot of the mystery dungeon games on the second channel, and even getting stopped in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and then subsequently switching up the whole play style from individual 30-second videos to the um, compilations of those same captures into movies. But excuse me, sorry, my nose is running. As the days go by, it's obviously something I'm not going to be able to do on my own because I don't know how to. But if I were to get a streaming setup in the future, I mean, it just looks better and better in terms of trying to continue to do YouTube relative to how much time I have. And also, if I can, do it on camera, that would be great for just like general audience engagement. It'd be kind of weird continuing on either channel with that format, especially considering everything that's happened. But like with every passing day, it just makes more and more sense. I don't know if, it's not like I've always wanted to be on camera streaming, but if I can, that would be pretty nice. But a lot of these things are being rendered a couple times over, at least 2 times over in 4K. So between that and the footage, I'm hoping people can enjoy it. I know I'm complaining about a lot of things. As a matter of fact, they just disorientated the Pokemon movie playlist a second time on top of the original disorientation because I woke up today and the thumbnail was different for the playlist, which means that they disorientated it again. So, can't really complain about that at this point. Had a ton of fun playing with Greedent. I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to have to make movies over the gameplay, but he was so much fun to play with. And over the past couple days, I've had the time to make movies, but I've just been, well, actually, I kind of haven't because I've been doing some other stuff around the house. But as far as like, actually having to go back and do this, it's never an issue. And, it kind of would make just streaming in the future just more practical. But Breeding was fun to play with. I've updated a lot of my custom loadouts to what I would consider to be like a final form of them. I can't imagine me making any other changes other than upgrading. Between the 6 loadouts that I have, there's just 2 brown emblems on the first loadout and a brown onyx emblem on the 6th loadout. Everything else is silver. And there's no duplicates on any of the loadouts. So I think I'm going to probably chill out for playing Pokemon Unite. I've got some things on my Switch I want to get onto my computer. And then when I empty out those movies, I'll probably put Sword of Convallaria down for a minute until I'm able to pick back up with it. Fingers crossed in maybe like a streaming format. Probably would be perfect for that game and something like Pokemon Unite. So I can let people see, the Pokemon I was playing with and the loadouts I was using. And the last thing I'll probably do in Pokemon Unite is share the updated custom loadouts. It'd be kind of weird doing that because it would mean that people who are following wouldn't want to play with those. would get a chance to test them out before I got a chance to play with them, because I just haven't gotten around to it. I mean, I might actually play with some of the custom loadouts with Cramorant until my memory gets full on my Switch, and then start uploading those videos to my computer just so I can get a taste of what they are before I share them with the community. But it would kind of mean those videos have to get made. But I don't know if that would be a problem in the meantime, because if I'm putting down Sword of Convalaria and subsequently this game after I do that, I could really just focus on playing Pokemon Ultra Moon and Pokemon Unite. It's just going back and making these videos, it's time consuming. But I'm kind of optimistic about the whole streaming thing. It really kind of would make sense. Just in general. Of course, it's 1:44 in the afternoon and 26 minutes left to go. 26% done. And Sword of Convalaria Part 5 that I've got uploaded. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the issues that people are having to deal with is just, I don't know how else to classify it other than it's just shameful behavior. But even like stuff like that, like the fact that it's 1:44 as of right now, I'm doing this audio on March 6th. And the 5th video I had uploaded, I'm uploading in the Sword of Convalaria playlist today, right now as we speak. It's since gone up to 27, but it was 20%, 26% done with 26 minutes left. Like when I mentioned this in the past, I wasn't kidding. Like when I tell you that they can just manipulate and puppeteer anything that they want as it pertains to not only YouTube but the games that you would want to play and have the right to play, albeit on a console or a computer for that matter, laptop in my case, and how they can just pull the rug out from under you. Like the second time I get on to play Sword of Convalaria, 70 failed files before it's like 36, before it's like 7, and then you give up, because you need to download the files to play the game. Excuse me. I just couldn't play it. So, that's I don't really play computer games like that, but the first time essentially I got on to do it, I couldn't, because they just pulled the rug out from under me, just like with right now, 1:44 in the afternoon, 26 minutes left to go until the video's done uploading, and it's at 26%. This is after everything that's happened on the first channel, how they completely obliterated my runs of the Mystery Dungeon games on the second channel around the time they ended Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on the first simultaneously. They've already robbed me of a computer that I bought with my own money. All this is being at home with my parents, not bothering anybody. They've been turning off my TV. They've tampered with the time on one of my videos. They've tampered with the playlist counts twice in varying degrees in 2 different games in the first channel. And then during the Pokemon Platinum Con, I've never seen YouTube misbehave that just blatantly before in my life. Before more YouTube.zips made, before the Emulator Con gets made, which is separate from the Pokemon Platinum Con, which is separate from the first YouTube.zip that got made, period, which started on that same channel, which was my second channel. And then, like, just now, I just happen to be getting on it. I'm doing a voiceover for a video, and it's more of the anomalous YouTube behavior, I don't know how these things continue to persist. I don't know how they're able to do them. It's unsettling. It's in a perfect world, I would argue that these things should never be happening. But then you kind of look at what led to the rebranding of the first channel, all the YouTube zips that got made around Christmas of this year. And not only did those get made, but they took that, pretty much the whole month of December, I never got a chance to play any of the Mystery Dungeon games I started. And not only that, they just took me off of them because I had a method for what I was using to create those videos, which is none of their business. And they just took it away from me. So, I don't know. I mean, as much as I would like to say something like, YouTube or Google, if not both, need to put some kind of parental advisory or just an advisory in general on their website to warn people about the fact that the people in charge of both of those platforms just can't behave themselves on and off said platforms. But we all know that that's not going to happen because, in fact, I don't know when they made the changes to their website and the blockchain system, but that was around the time that they put that was around the time that they put a link to the community guidelines at the top of their comment section. So they went the other way in the midst of, one of their meltdowns, which happened regularly and as far, date as far back as for me, to when I was in college. I've been out of school for over 10 years. So, the only thing I would say on that front would be to, if there are people out there that do encounter any kind of anomalous behavior, something like that on the internet, or you find yourself in a position where your television isn't turning on, and you're trying to play a game that you've bought on a PlayStation that you own, albeit a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5, and it's just not happening. Or you wake up one day and your computer that you just bought, it cost over $1,000, a custom computer, just doesn't turn on anymore. I would advise people to, think twice before you take it to the store or buy a new TV or do something to try to fix the problem on your end, because it could be the same people who are and have been committing crimes that are, the ones that are assaulting you. In order, and how to get it fixed, I don't know. I mean, if you are someone that just needs to or wants to play those games that badly, then you can go about fixing the problem yourself, or you can kind of do what I did, which is try to, resolve the issue yourself. But it's, when I tell you that these things have been happening for 10 years on and off this website at an alarming rate, I'm not kidding you. Luckily for me, there's a lot of people here where I live that seem to be aware of the fact that these people and issues exist and have been happening for such a long time, which is helpful because they can use their channels and just their channels to help bring attention to the fact that they're misbehaving. But I would just, be about yourself. You clearly, you should and do have the right to do what it is that you want to do. But I'd be lying to you if I told you there weren't people out here that, have the ability and will straight up, just stop whatever it is that you want to do. So, I mean, like I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. I swear, I promise you, most of these videos, unless I'm doing something like making another video to be ready for a voiceover, I do try to talk about the games, but it's so hard, even in this video, when at 144, the time left on the upload and the percentage at which it's done are both at 26% at 144. You know, I have to let people know that that's happening, even as I'm making this voiceover in the midst of me uploading a sort of Convallaria video, because it shouldn't be happening, and it is. They've completely ruined both of my channels. The month of December, I tried my best. You know, I got pretty deep in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 before the varying degrees issues themselves took me off that game entirely. I chose that game for a very specific reason. It was a role-playing game I thought I'd enjoy, especially after my time in Final Fantasy XV, which is what I started playing on YouTube, just period. And that and Pokemon Ultra Sun are two of my favorite games of all time. So, in some sick way, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is like a perfect infusion of both of those games, with the story that's being told and the RPG kind of side to it. And I'm surprised I got as far in that game as I did before. They just took me off. I mean, the 30-second videos were working, but I mean, it's never been easy. Like, in terms of playing these games and making the videos, that's not a problem for me. It's the daily upload limit of how many Switch videos that has never been consistent. The ultimate, the penultimate death of that whole way of making videos for me. The fact that they took me off editing said videos with KindMaster before switching to Power Director, before it went back to KindMaster, before I couldn't upload period in that way because I didn't know it was a memory issue that was preventing me from editing on my phone, because they were tampering with my phone memory in varying degrees within said issue. The botched time on the Death Store video, the miscount on the Pokemon Violet playlist, the miscount on the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 playlist, which I was just talking about just now, that happened twice, in a difference of 7 videos the first time and a couple hundred the second time. Christmas of when I'm playing Pokemon Violet, what seemed to be without a memory card in my Nintendo Switch, it seemed like I could empty out my capture gallery, which is 100 videos limit, no problem if I were to put in that much work on any given night before that drops down to 80 clearly. And then I'm getting shiny Iron Thorns around Christmas in Pokemon Violet, and that drops down to 60 before it goes back up to 80. Now, I create a second channel to continue playing that same game. It seems like it's around 60, which I'm like, well, maybe this means the channel's verified. I've been putting in a ton of work on the first one. They know it's me who's made this second one, because I'm subscribed to that channel. And it's my same, information. And because of my community engagement and current status within the community, maybe this means I can start my second channel uploading 60 videos, which is what it was for all of one day before it dropped down to what seemed like 40, and then probably somewhere in the teens before it hit the less than 10 mark. The issues alone are concerning and alarming, but then the varying degrees, that's what really upsets people and just demoralizes them. And I think they know that, which is why it just continues to happen. But why that's the case is, I think, the real mystery here.